Take a deep breath, everyone. Before we start,
Respira.
respira. And welcome to Live Your Happy 365. This is lesson 99. Salvation is my only function here.
Salvation is my only function here. Yeah. You want to know what came up for me?
Please share.
Well, for me is my function is forgiveness. And forgiveness is salvation. Because every time I work my mind, I talked about this yesterday, every time I work it, because I got from Spirit, get your head straight, right? So every time I get my head straight, I am doing my function. Every time I get my head straight. So this is just like in modern day terms, right? So every time I think you're doing something to me, or that I want to go to war with you, and I stop myself and I put that sword down and I do my internal work, and I remember that you're a mirror of me and that you are playing your part perfectly, I'm fulfilling my function. Not only with you, but with any objects outside of myself. It could be my son, it could be my thoughts about money, it could be my thoughts about my brand, it could be my thoughts about my mother. Every time I am looking at it with Christ's vision, and every time I am letting go of the victimization and the attack, I'm undoing the egoic thought system in my mind, and I'm undoing it for all of us, because we're all one. Ow. Pow.
Yep, that's true.
Isn't that amazing?
Salvation is your only function. And it says in that lesson too that salvation and forgiveness are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So forgiveness is really the essential function and toolkit that the Course in Miracles wants to convey.
I feel that one of the things that you do, and you can talk about a little bit more, is I feel that you do this a lot in our relationship too, that you come to me, or you'll say something like, I'm sorry, I just want to, why? It's just all these emotional tears come out. You always say, sorry, or I take, responsibility. And that's your part, it's this, not needing to be right, of kind of like looking at it and being like, hey, you know what? I want peace, I'm sorry, or whatever is that, that's how we do the work in everyday life. I feel that it's so helpful for our community to work it in everyday life. Does that make sense? I feel that that's so helpful, like bringing the book into existence versus just keeping it intellectual.
Yeah. And I think,
how do you do that though?
Apart from the Course in Miracles, which
of course you have to burp. He burps and he farts. Like, this is part of the whole shebang.
Too bad you guys don't smell anything over video.
But I want to know why you do that, because it's a very mature thing to do. I've never really experienced that with a partner that kind of just comes and like lets his sword down, and it's just really beautiful. I don't think you see that. That's why I'm bringing it up to the audience.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a point in your life when you recognize that you are the creator of your life. And when you put negativity out there, it's no big deal. You can hate all day long on your partner or whoever. But maybe at some point you want to apologize and take back or try to cancel what you put out there. Because that's just taking responsibility for your life. And apart from the Course in Miracles, which I think is a very complicated book, I actually have not learned this from the Course in Miracles. Like, I've learned that from the Way of Mastery, because there's no other way to fully seize the power and have all the control in your life that you want by fully being the master of creation that you are. But here's the thing. You don't want to own your life fully, because then you would be responsible for whatever is outside of you.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's true.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't.
It's just knowing that whatever you manifest is your manifestation. If it's bad or if it's good, doesn't matter. If you have an accident, it's your manifestation. You take responsibility, you know. And if your wife is mad, even if you've done something or not, like, it's your responsibility. Like, you manifested a mad character in your life. Why? Does it trigger me? First question is, does it trigger me? Second question is, you know, what can I do? Can I hold space? Can I, you know? So
I feel something really beautiful actually from the Way of Mastery. Christian and I actually read that book together, almost the whole thing together. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I would, if anybody would ask me.
Careful, we're using the blue book. No, he's gonna say, I would study the Way of Mastery. That's what he's gonna say. I already know it's coming out of his mouth.
Exactly. If anybody would ask me what's an easier way to, like, get to that mindset, I would say Way of Mastery. It's language that's much easier.
How about?
And of course, the second option would be Live Your Happy.
That's what I thought.
And my wife. The second option.
Do you know, in the Way of Mastery, JM says something. It was channeled through JM, our dear friend. I love him. He talks about, the spirits talk about in that book of bless our creations, which is what you're talking about. So it's like the past, whatever you appear to have done, that's a way of forgiveness, is blessing that. It's like, oh my God, I'm such an epic director, writer. I should win an Oscar. These are my words at this point. I should win an Oscar for my creations, you know, and I bless everything that I've done before this. Because A Course in Miracles says, everything that should be remembered for the past is the love you gave and the love that you received. So when you bless everything in the past that you keep on regurgitating in your head, then you're looking at it in a lighter way, instead of like you're wrong and guilty and sinless. It's like, oh, I bless that creation, you know? Wow. Okay, I bless that and I bless that, you know? I bless that argument that I decided to have with Christian, or I bless that moment of where I got agitated with Ari, or instead of, like, more playful, more innocent, instead of I'm wrong and bad.
Yeah, I think Course in Miracles teachings are very black and white. They tend to be very black and white, and they put you in like, oh, you're bad, you're good. You know, I don't think that's true. Like that's what you think the Course in Miracles is saying, but it's actually saying that you're innocent. Yet it brings up all that stuff around guilt, and yes, I can see how we have tons of guilt, but isn't it a better way to deal with guilt in an innocent way than saying that guilt is wrong? And we need to undo it, and forgiveness, and I have to grieve 50 years before I get bullshit. You know, there's one sentence that I wrote in actually the next page in my Course in Miracles, and that's not a quote from the Course in Miracles, that's just what I wrote for myself. It says, they will see your alignment in your shining face. So enlightenment has nothing to do with reading a book, or, you know, being a master of a book, or knowing a book, or whatever. You know, enlightenment is, you'll see it, you know, you can see in somebody's face if somebody is present and owns its radiance, its existence. So
I love how we're doing the Course in Miracles lessons, and he judges the Course in Miracles consistently. It's just part of the process. Comments below, guys, on your thoughts on that. And you know what? I feel that people could relate to my experience of the Course and to yours. And I'm excited to see when we get to 395. Just kidding.
Feels like
395. 365.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with judging the Course in Miracles. That's the thing, you know. You think there's something wrong with judging. No. Judge it. You know, if it's easier for you to, you know, read the Way of Mastery, read the Way of Mastery, and don't do these lessons. You yeah, so you got to do what's easy, what flows for you.
Yeah. You got to listen to your heart, follow your heart. Like Christian always says, follow your excitement. And what's beautiful is that he continues to be here, even though he struggles with some of the concepts and stuff. And I think that that's what's important here, is just getting out of your own way and continuing to do whatever you have to do. All right, guys. Choo choo!